Today on E-commerce Heroes, I'll be talking to Connor Gillivan about dropshipping. We'll be covering the reality of dropshipping, how Connor used dropshipping to make over $25 million worth of sales, and whether that approach could still be successful on Amazon today. In today's episode of E-commerce Heroes, I'll be talking to Connor Gillivan about dropshipping. Connor is the co-founder of outsourcing company FreeUp and has been running e-commerce businesses since 2009. He has sold over $25 million worth of products. Now, when we talk about dropshipping has been around for a long time and is used by a range of businesses to, carry out orders for their customers. Now, today we're not talking about that. We're talking about dropshipping as a central business model for online sellers who are using Amazon, eBay, Shopify, or other online sales channels. Now, dropshipping sounds perfect in theory. You don't have to handle stock, you don't have to pick and pack orders, and you don't have to purchase your products up front. So it's quite easy to see why there is so much hype about it. But Connor, what is dropshipping like in reality?
So dropshipping, I think even since when I got into e-commerce, this was around 2009, and for probably 10 years before that, dropshipping has always had this stigma that it's a make money quick business model. A lot of people have, written blog articles and started websites and created dropshipping companies that try to teach people how to make money online with dropshipping. And going into it, I had that in the back of my mind, but I also knew that starting a business is extremely difficult and nothing was going to be easy. So through my years of experience, what I've really learned is dropshipping is just like any other e-commerce business model. Whether you're wholesaling or private labeling, there's a lot that goes into it. There's plenty of operations, there's plenty of moving parts, and you really need to become an expert at the dropshipping business model in order to succeed within it. It's not just spend an hour here, spend an hour there, and you can quickly start making profits. You really need to get down into the operations of how you create the supplier relationship to making sure that the product is delivered to your customer and then following up with the customer service. There's a lot of those steps. So it's definitely a difficult business model, but one that's totally manageable if you take the time to learn it.
And for sellers that don't take that time to learn it and they've kind of, listened to a lot of the hype and think it's easy and they've rushed into dropshipping, what are some of the common mistakes that you see those sellers making with dropshipping?
Sure. So one of the bigger mistakes that a lot of young e-commerce entrepreneurs make when dropshipping is a lot to do with the inventory. So when you're dropshipping and you're working with these suppliers, whether they're in the United States, in the UK, maybe overseas in China, one of the biggest parts of the operations is making sure that you have up-to-date inventory levels from that supplier. So you make the relationship with the dropship supplier. They say, Connor, you can sell my products on your Amazon or eBay store. Here's the product information. I go ahead and list those products. But if I don't have someone on my team that is making sure that I'm only selling products and listing products that are actually in stock with that supplier, I could quickly get 10, 15, 20 orders for a product that's out of stock. And then I'm in a situation where I can't fulfill it. Amazon or eBay gets mad at me. The supplier is wondering what I'm doing and why I'm listing those products. And that could be a big way that you can make a mistake, and it could lead to you being turned off by the dropship business model. So I would say that's one of the major mistakes.
And you've obviously got considerable experience using the dropshipping model. So what was your strategy?
Yeah, sure. So going into dropshipping, I really didn't know anything about it. My business partner and I were still in college when we started the business. We were really interested by the Amazon marketplace. We started by selling textbooks, actually. And once we learned about dropshipping, we were really intrigued because there was that whole idea of never having to touch the product. And so over the years of getting into dropshipping, we really succeeded by creating systems and processes to create really strong relationships with suppliers that were based in the United States, but they also already had a good brand for their product. So they were making We worked with a lot of manufacturers that sold toys and baby products and home goods and sporting goods. And so it was our job to find those companies, reach out to them, talk to their wholesale departments, explain, we have over 5,000 reviews on Amazon. We have all of these systems set up. We have a great team that's going to make sure that the customers that receive your products are happy with the experience. And we had to prove to them that we were a reputable seller for them that could then sell their products through Amazon. And it worked out really well for us. Like I said, 2009, 2010, Amazon was still really growing into its marketplace. So there was a lot of opportunity. There weren't as many sellers as there were today. And there were a lot of brands that just didn't understand what Amazon was bringing to the e-commerce field. So we really tapped into that need, and we helped them to sell more through Amazon. So we very much found success by listing a lot of products, working with a lot of suppliers, and then slowly eliminating products that weren't selling and sticking with the ones that were selling the best.
And I mean, so you went for the volume approach. Kind of as you've said, you just listed a lot of products and had a look at what stuck. But could a seller come along and do that on Amazon now, or would they have to tweak that business model slightly?
Great question. So I think you could still find success, but there is a better strategy in doing a lot of product research up front. So because of the growth that Amazon has had and the number of sellers trying to compete on the Amazon marketplace, it's much smarter to go through Amazon's products, look at where there are opportunities where maybe there's less than 5 sellers on a listing, but that product is ranked really high within Amazon's product rankings. That shows an opportunity where if you could create a relationship with the supplier and become a really good seller for that specific product, and then find other similar products, you're going to be able to find success in that way. For us, going and selling everything that we could find under the sun worked out really well because there wasn't as much competition. But today, I think the best route is to focus on product research, find those ASINs where you can really succeed, and then keep pushing home on those and find others that are similar.
Okay. And my final question for you, Connor, is if sellers have been watching this video and they're either now thinking about getting into dropshipping, or they might even be dropshipping, but they're very new to it. What are your 3 top tips for those sellers?
Absolutely. So first tip, if you're very new to dropshipping, I recommend finding a mentor, someone that's done it in the past, someone that maybe is even still doing it, but that is willing to share some of their strategies with you, share some of their secrets with you, kind of talk to you when you're going through some of the tough times. One of the most difficult parts of running a dropshipping business is getting it all set up at first. So if you can find someone that's going to help you do that, you're going to be able to move a lot more quickly than if you're doing everything on your own. So tip number 1, find that person that's going to be able to invest some of their time in you and can really help you grow. Tip number 2 is just approach dropshipping with a trial and error attitude. So, you're not going to go to the first supplier and they're going to be your home run. It's going to take a few times going through a number of suppliers and types of products to figure out what's going to sell best for you on Amazon or eBay or any other marketplace. So, go into the first 3 to 6 months thinking, I'm going to try out 5 different product categories. I'm going to try to find different sized suppliers and maybe even different areas of where those suppliers are located, and take that trial and error approach. And then once you find the ones that are working out real well, continue with those and then continue in a similar fashion. So always trial and error as you're building the business. And then the third tip is, I'll come back to that. So the third tip is to outsource once you're ready. So the dropship business model has a lot of moving parts, like I was explaining a little bit before. The first thing is you want to research products and find some that you think could sell well. You then want to go and find the contact information of the supplier that you're going to be working with. You want to reach out to that supplier. You want to talk to them, set up terms for the relationship. Then you have to list the products. You would need to optimize the product listings. Once you get sales, you need to send the order to the actual supplier. You need to manage all the inventory. You need to handle customer service. And there's other aspects that go into all the operations. So you as an entrepreneur it's going to take a lot of your time to manage all of that once the business is up and running. So my third piece of advice is, once you're there and once you're starting to get all of those processes going, look to hire virtual assistants and freelancers. They can be in your own country, they can be from other countries, but people who have experience working through Amazon or eBay stores, bring them into your team, have them handle those processes for you, and then you can stay focused on continuing to growing the business.
Fantastic. Well, Connor, thank you very much for your time. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. But thanks to everyone at home for watching, and we'll see you again soon for another episode of E-commerce Heroes here at Web Retailer.